I'll save that. I'll put a pin in it, and let's talk about
Okay.
some football now. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, we didn't do it quite rapid fire, but it's like I think we got in there, and we
I like the concept. Next time you're on, we're gonna do more rapid fire uh, questionnaires.
yeah, definitely. All right, so Chiefs.
Okay. Before we
Um,
get started, another shameless plug: new merch. Check out the link in the description. Buy a mug. They're funny and fun. Okay, go ahead. What's up with the Chiefs?
what's up with the Chiefs? I mean, all right. So one thing that we're really healthy, like defensively.
Hmm.
Like there's a lot of real investment to protect Patrick,
Yeah, as you should.
uh, as we should. Um, but how are you feeling? Are we fast enough?
Okay, so first off, have you watched any of the preseason games?
No, I have not. So I'm gonna leave it to you to fill it in because
Okay.
yeah,
It's hard to really get a handle of what's going on because Andy Reid is a wily veteran. He's been
yep,
running teams since I was in diapers, right? So there wasn't much to be seen. There were some flashes from players, and here and there in the preseason, but it was enough to give some excitement. Starting with the offense, okay. Um, Kelsey looks healthy and ready to rock. Okay, whatever Taylor Swift's doing, keep it up. Happy Kelsey is a healthy Kelsey.
yeah.
So he's going to go out there and perform for our de facto queen, Taylor Swift. Uh, Patrick Mahomes looks sharper than ever, which is scary. He just looks like he's dialed in. Again, they didn't show much in preseason, but I don't. It wasn't because there's a lack of talent or execution necessarily. It's just that he was only in for a few series and they pulled him, which I had never seen
Sure.
before. They yanked him out pretty quick. So they must have liked what they've seen from him. But he seems quicker on his decision making. And on top of that, our rebuilt wide receiver room looks like it's going to be a problem for the NFL. I mean, we got first off Marquise Brown, who's injured, going to be injured for the next couple weeks, I think. So he's not going to be there opening night, unfortunately. But this is a guy that runs a 4.3, uh, former first round pick, super talented. Had some ups and downs with mid lane quarterbacks, but now he's with the future goat Patrick Mahomes.
Who was he with
Um,
last year?
Last year, I believe he was with Arizona,
Okay,
and I want to say Kyler Murray was in. I don't remember if he was hurt last year, but Kyler Murray isn't Mahomes, right?
sure.
So and that Cardinals team was mostly shit. So yeah, so we got rebuilt wide receiver room, Marquise Brown. Um, we got Rasheed Rice, that that
The
Tokyo drifting, fast and furious
bad
motherfucker.
boy.
Doesn't
Dude,
look like he's gonna be suspended this year, so he'll be there.
no.
Second year was already a stud. He's back for an encore. And then we got my man Xavier Worthy, fastest man to ever run in the combine, 4.22 40, or was it 4.21? Either way, broke the record. And they didn't give him much action, but he had glimpses, and it looked like he's ready to rock. So you got these guys out here plus Kelsey. Dude, it's going to be an issue for the NFL, and that's not even talking about Pacheco and Carson Steele, who has
Yeah.
been a revelation in preseason too. So I'm ready. What do you think about that?
Um, no, I'm excited to hear because but it's like when I was going over the players and just looking at, we still have Chris Brown, we still, it's like we just
Chris
signed
Jones.
Humphrey or yeah, sorry, what did Chris Jones. Uh, anyway, everyone looks good on that side of things. Do you think anyone is going to do you think Sky Moore is going to deliver a little bit more this year?
I like Sky. I've had high hopes for him. I just don't think he's going to do it. Number one, he just doesn't seem to have that dog in him, you know?
No, he doesn't have the star power, or
Yeah,
like, yeah, the energy's not there.
he's got the skill, but it's almost like he gets out there and turns into a goofy. Like
Yeah,
it's like, he'll go out there, he's fast, he can, he's an athlete. He can do the moves. Okay, but for some reason it's like when the lights turn on, there's my old football coach, he'd always say that. There's certain people out there that practice well and play well. There's certain people out there that practice poorly and play well when the lights come on, right? And there's people out there that practice well and play poorly. Did I say that? Sorry, I can't remember. Yeah. Either way, yeah. So he seems like a guy that probably does all the right things in practice, and knows his spot and can get some rhythm, in practice. But once the lights come on Sunday or Monday or whatever night they're playing, he just like disappears. It's like he gets nervous or he just I don't know, he just doesn't put it
right.
together. So yeah,
It
I don't
it
think it's gonna
it
happen.
it's like you really do need like nerves of steel out there, because it's not just the sport, it's the whole sensory experience
It's
in
a
a way.
performance.
It's a performance, exactly. And so like, um yeah, anyway, I get that.
For the record, I was always someone that practiced poorly, but I was always good under the lights.
Nice. What position did they have you in usually?
Linebacker. I wasn't
Linebacker,
very good
okay.
to be honest with you, but I was better on game day than I was during practice.
Yeah, yeah, you're not that big a guy either, like,
No, no.
um I'm trying to think if there's any Chiefs related issues I mean, it's just I'm ready. That's it.
Yeah,
I had the same thing to say last year. Um and it's always like we look, it's like we look really good, and it's going to be interesting to see where, because it's like you could plan as much stuff as you want, but in a war, everything gets decided by the first shot. You know what I mean? Like it's
yeah.
just it's always how it happens on game day, and that's why I watch.
It's that Mike Tyson famous quote: "Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face." Right. So
Exactly.
go out there, do your thing. Now, luckily, the Chiefs have been the puncher, which seems like the last 7 years. I don't know. It's been like a whole lifetime where we've just been so dominant in the league. But we'll say, just so we don't forget about the defense and special teams. Defense looks like it may take a step back. We have our defensive line, which is going to be solid per usual, anchored by Chris Jones, the man. Our linebacking crew took a hit with losing Willie Gay, but I think Drew Tranquil and Nick Bolton are solid in there. And on top of that, I think Leo Chanel is going to be solid in a bigger role. That guy's a monster. He's like 6'2", 255, solid muscle. I think he runs a 4.4, 40 or something like that. So he's like just an athlete. And I think the more they unleash him, the more comfortable he gets, the more of a wrecking ball he's going to be out there. But the problem comes where we have a pretty solid defensive backfield. We have solid safeties. We have Trent McDuffie in the corner.
Yep. Yeah.
Normally, I mean, look, it's an NFL team, professional. Like you're not going to have studs everywhere. Two safeties and a steal in the draft with I think his name is Jaden Hicks. They're going to be solid over there in the safety department. Trent McDuffie's going to do his thing, but the problem is we don't know what's going to happen with our second corner because we lost Snead in the offseason.
Yeah.
Snead, who didn't allow a touchdown all regular season. All of a sudden, now we have this
he took
gaping hole.
everything personally.
Yeah, that man's trying to get paid, and I'm not mad at him. Dude, his backstory is crazy, man. He's getting grew up in gang, torn Louisiana, lost a brother and sister to gang violence and shit, and he's making all these millions somehow. He was a fourth round pick, kept the kept this positive attitude, worked his way up, and now he's crushing it, man. I couldn't be more proud of the guy. But but now we have a gaping hole that's I'm not sure it's going to get fixed. So hopefully, in Spags we trust, he figures out a way to
Yeah,
cover up that hole, and then we keep it rolling. But other than that, we got Harrison Butker. As long as he keep his mouth shut, doing his
he
thing,
won't.
we're good. He
He
won't.
won't.
What is with this guy? Fucking Catholics, man. Anyway,
Well, it's not just, it's like kind of this newer like tradcath thing where it's like I feel like in
Tradcat.
our, yeah, like where it's like in at least when I was younger, like if you grew up Catholic, you were usually a little skeptical about it. You were like, yeah, I'm Catholic, I still go to church, but whatever, it's not a, it's not everything. But you
Yeah,
have a lot of these people like Michael Knowles or Harrison Butker who are like they wear fucking sweaters all the time,
yeah,
and it's like what the fuck, it's like you aren't Jesus, it's like you guys can like you don't you're like these down the line fascist maniacs, and I have to root for this guy all year,
yeah, yeah,
and that's and that's just I mean it's also like I mean watching the NFL in general is like it's not ideologically a pure activity.
right.
Watching people get injured and permanently maimed for fun, but we live with this hypocrisy and we'll move forward.
Can we talk about Harrison Butker for a second?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. The amount of arguments I got in about that guy this past summer is like unreal. And it's not
What?
listen, argue with people all the time. I don't it's not that we disagree on whether or not what he said was good or bad. There's a disagreement on what he actually said. Like there's people disagreeing with the reality of what he was saying because the constant position of the pro Harrison Butker side is that what's the problem? He was just, a Catholic guy talking to Catholic students about, Catholic beliefs. And, he didn't say anything hateful. He just says, like, yeah, you should I love my wife and I think it's great that she's a homemaker. And it's like, listen, if that was all he said, that'd be fine. I would think it was
Right.
stupid, but that'd be fine. But that's not all he said. He said a lot of other stuff, which were um, anti-trans, and he also caked a couple of his comments that were basically anti-Semitic and anti-black. And I
Oh,
don't
I
know
haven't
if
heard
you,
those yet.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can look up some of the quotes, but he was like, you know, oh, you can't even talk about like who killed Jesus, which is first off, yes, you can. You're absolutely allowed to like
There's a whole book about it.
yeah, right. And like a whole deference to that specific religion. That's the other thing that's so funny. It's like they act like they're this like downtrodden minority when you live in a country that's like 90%, 99% spiritual, back to spiritual, but like religious. And I want to say upwards of 70 to 75% Christian or Christian denomination. Stop acting like you're like oppressed here. So anyway, yeah, you can talk about it, but the reason people don't you have to talk about it a certain way because too many people say things like, "Oh, the Jews killed Jesus," as in like modern day. You need to hate Jewish people because they killed Jesus. Like
Like
it
Mel
gets too
Brooks
weird too
killed
fast.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's all there is to it. It's just a little nuance. Like, hey, just say, yeah, this is the story. And these people killed in the book. You know, uh, just don't be a dumbass about it. But anyway, so he said a bunch of different shit talking about trans people. Obviously, he said something about it being like a toxic ideology, which is like ignorant beyond ignorant, and just like all sorts of stuff. So anyway, people aren't recognizing that he said some fucked up shit about a lot of people, and things that you can just tell he just watches too much Fox News.
Yeah, no, or like I mean, no, you could tell the stuff he was talking about he got from Matt Walsh.
Right.
Like I mean, let's be real here. It's just like a lot of these people weren't thinking about this crap before it became propagandized by by these media companies. And it'll be interesting. Is Butker going to go on Tucker?
Oh,
Probably.
of
I don't
course.
know.
Yeah. I want to
Um,
say, hasn't he already been on Daily Wire?
I don't know. It seems like a shoe in, because I'm surprised he doesn't have his own show
Oh yeah, he
yet.
definitely has a podcast over there after Ted Cruz and fucking uh, Michael Knowles.
Right. Like, and I'm not going to say that those guys are weird, but they're like kind of like, yeah, it's like, who do you want to
Aren't
be
they
in a
though?
car with by yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. I think you can be honest. They're kind of weird, and like it's funny because we know these people. Like know these
Yeah.
people. Michael, of course. I don't really know Matt except for the couple of times that we've had him in office. He's that guy's fucking weird. At some point, if I ever get a higher profile, I'm gonna just like air that guy out. But anyway,
Oh,
uh,
it shouldn't be difficult. I mean, the thing is, it's just like anytime you have a situation where a guy who wants to be the straightest guy in the world is like dyeing his beard to look more young and virile. Um, like, I mean, it's like all those guys, all those Daily Wire guys were so narcissistic about their appearance. They'd have fucking barbers, makeup artists in there every day. Like they're like used car salesmen.
yeah.
And Harrison Butker fits right in. He'll
You're the
sit.
one that told me about. Look the way he dresses.
Yeah, no, I mean it's just like he looks like he likes to sit in front of fireplaces, for a living. And like
For a living.
and it's so fake. Like they want to be so traditional, but I guarantee they're cranking their hog to weird stuff,
Yeah,
you know?
they want to
Like
cosplay as their dads, but like haven't really earned it because like you haven't been through like a world war.
Yeah, that's right. Go I mean, it's like anyway, I'm not gonna doom like this is the thing. It's like Butker's gonna start start blowing it, and this conversation will be to blame for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, it's like I don't know. It's just as Californians, I think we're both on the same page. But what was really interesting, I mean, there's the trad cath subculture out here in California, and I remember people, meeting people who really respected Mel Gibson.
Oh my gosh, because of the
And
Passion of the Christ.
not just that, but just like his whole legacy. Like the guy has like they would, it's like a big thing to be able to go to his private church on his property. And I'm sure that's still the case.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't fuck with that. It's like I'm not I don't really it's like I have a religion. I'm Christian Orthodox like through my family,
Uh,
and like I am superstitious. I can't help it. But I feel like if I just feel like I'm gonna sin every day. I'm gonna do bad things. I'm a fuck up. I'm stupid. Whatever. But you resolve it through, if you believe it, you resolve it through confession. You say, "Dear God," or "I pray to God. I hope make me a better person. Forgive me." You
yeah.
know. Um, but they're acting like they're the saints. They're acting like infallible, that they're better than the rest of us, but they're really, God knows what's in their search history.
Oh god, it's bad. I'm sure. You cannot tell me Matt Walsh doesn't have the most just like fucked up. Like it's funny. I remember, God, So you know about Jesse Lee Peterson, right?
Yeah, yeah, I do. I have to admit, I've watched montages of him yelling, calling people beta males, and laughing.
Beta. Are you a beta male? Yeah, the guy. That guy's a trip. Anyway, um, between like the most vile people are always they always have the worst shit in their searches, and like him or like it's not the worst. They just like caught him like he's actually gay, I guess. Um,
Sure.
but then you got like all these like preachers, like televangelists who just have all this fucked up shit in their search history. Uh, I think they caught Alex Jones one time. They saw his phone. He's like looking at trans porn. Um, just like
Which
some
is,
people.
yeah, I mean, which that's what it's. Um, anyway, that was another one of my topics to cover on a later episode. Not necessarily what celebrities, but like the idea of porn category bingo.
Oh, okay.
Where like it's just like sometimes like anyway like the categories and what people go to because they're designed to bait us into looking at things that we're like, oh, what the fuck, oh, shoplifter punishment, that's horrible, but what does this look like?
What's it? Rule 34? Like, if it
Yeah.
exists in real life, there's a porn about it.
Well, you know what, I got to how are we on time?
We're creeping up on an hour, so if you want to wrap, we can wrap.
Okay, let's do